What's up? This is Breakdown with Avenged Sevenfold, and we are going to go over a very long and fun song called A Little Piece of Heaven.
Pizza.
It almost turned into that. It almost turned into that.
All right. So this whole song is absolute madness.
There's so much shit going on that I don't even remember. It's like a little pizza heaven with all different layers and little cheese.
Little cheeses.
But yeah.
No sardines.
I mean, this thing really only happens with tons and tons of layers, but we didn't really plan it that way.
Yeah, so Jimmy had this demo that we thought was really cool. He played piano. It was always very, very entertaining, you know, and we always thought he was a brilliant piano player and the stuff he would come up with was awesome. But then he actually said it was a song and had a lot of things in mind for orchestration, which he never really brought us stuff like that. You know, it was more like Pinkley Smooth-esque. And we're like, fuck yeah, let's work on something a little crazy. And I didn't know exactly what it was going to turn out to be, so we worked on it a lot up in Big Bear, this mountain range. We had a cabin in Matt's family that we'd go stay at and record a bunch of shit and just get hammered and kind of get away from parents and fucking everybody and just get out there to focus. And the song kind of came to life. I mean, I didn't know that it was really going to be an Avenged song. It didn't sound like that, you know? And at this point, of course, it makes sense that we introduce all the different types of crazy shit, but it became more apparent that we at least had to record it in some capacity. And then our excuse for that was the Halloween EP, because we were going to release the record around Halloween time. And Jimmy had this kind of song. We wanted to kind of do this Halloween EP, and we had been in a band called Pinkley Smooth before, which is just primarily goblin metal, heavily Danny Elfman influenced, as well as Oingo Boingo. And so we started playing this thing with one finger and adding another finger and then adding some bass notes, and all of a sudden we have piano and drums, and it just sounds like this 8-minute, 50-second collage of different Danny Elfman influence type of ridiculous stuff, and nobody knew where it was really going to go. Instant classic.
Man, where this song ended up from what the demo, just the piano.
Totally.
This is just.
I'll be honest, I didn't want to work on the fucking song. We were producing the record ourselves, and it was just such a crazy thing in and of itself to do that, you know, for the first time and orchestrate that. It was exhausting, and to think that this might just kind of get swept under the rug on a Halloween EP. But kudos to the rest of the band to just really want to make it happen, and it turned out so fucking good that, you know, we put it on the record. But
Yep.
Just a spoonful of Jimmy helps the world go down.
Good man, we're doing.
Oh, cool. Right,
Jimmy.
at the beginning. Hey.
It sounded great.
Cool.
obviously Jimmy wrote the song, but we had Mark Mann and Steve Bartek. I think Steve Bartek did all the horns here, and he's the guitar player and piano player. Mark Mann and Steve Bartek of Oingo Boingo. And we actually didn't know that at the time. We hired Mark Mann to do all the orchestrations for the album. We had this song. He's like, dude, my dude Steve Bartek, who's Danny's right-hand guy, orchestrates, you know, the majority of everything that he does, comes in and just turns this thing into what was already a fucking masterpiece, and just puts the icing on the cake. With so much brilliant shit happening here. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of came together with the Rev's piano riff.
Right.
And this is kind of the product of what happens when we produce an album ourselves with nobody to stop us.
Right.
You end up with a million tracks, and this was absolutely so much fun to record too.
I took all possibility from you.
Like that?
Yeah.
You know, Steve Bartek and Mark Mann did such an amazing job. Stuff that was probably over our head and still is, but
Well, it was like you said, like the simplicity of it. We would have just layered the shit out of it, like been busier. Yeah.
there's so many little things to go through. People might want to hear some stuff soloed up. You know, things that people can't hear necessarily. So let's bring up some of these orchestrations and see what we got.
Remember we did choir at the same studio. Did we do strings in the same studio too? Or did we go somewhere for those? We went to...
I think we went somewhere. I don't know, Brian.
It was at Capitol for this record too?
Should we be interviewing you?
Yeah, he remembers more than we do.
Rafa knows more than we do. greatest instrument ever, dude.
Yeah.
That's what should be on every record.
Is that a trombone? Yeah, it's gotta be. Yeah, that was the part that Bartek brought in too. Was a lot of the horn work. I remember that was. Jimmy had a vague idea of what he wanted the horns to be, but like.
That's so rad. It's mad.
Crazy flute and everything.
It's like fucking Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah. Definitely brought the vision of the horns together.
So good.
That's rad.
Ben, I'm not saying that about us. I'm saying because I had nothing to do with that. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
There's a trombone player named Rusty. Rusty trombone.
He was actually a baritone singer.
What we're gonna say is remember what we said? We're gonna tell everyone. God.
Fucking shit, man.
Count Chocula fucks everything up, dude.
He's a dick.
I knew I didn't like that cereal.
It's crazy. And Jimmy was so good at orchestrating, even just his drums, you know, just to break everything down. He just really lets the song speak first. But yeah, really. I'll solo up some of his stuff next, but really cool vocals right here.
That was perfect.
Yeah. I think you do that. Did that in the demo. Yeah. It's the best thing we heard.
I'll do it.
What the hell are the other harmonies?
Okay, go.
There it is, yeah. So we got the lead vocals.
But it's just begun. Baby, don't cry.
Crazy.
You and my heart.
Yeah, being able to capture all the dynamics in the song, you know, starting off relatively heavy and then such a mellow chorus, you almost forget it's part of the same song,
Right.
but it works.
Love that he did. So you have this. I'm gonna solo this up
We fell apart.
with this one. It was really genius, and I remember Jimmy really wanted the string section to follow the melody.
You and my heart.
My heart.
At least for the most part.
So I thought it was so
'Cause
cool.
everybody's gotta die sometime. We fell apart. Let's make a new start.
And that one adds a different octave that second time for the second time.
It's funny how cinematic it is when you actually break it down.
Totally. It's all that shit is.
It almost sounds like a sad
Yeah,
song of
I know.
murder and
Yeah, about murder and necrophilia and all the good stuff.
I always want to go. Everybody's gotta die sometime. Oh.
Sing it just the way you did it, but then we'll go back and put a higher octave on. At least for the most part.
You and my heart. At least for the most part. 'Cause everybody's gotta die sometime. Got what we need, you think?
Hell yeah.
Okay. Last one.
Yeah, so many crazy vocals here too.
yeah, let's dive into some of those.
So
I know. It ain't your time to die. But bye-bye. After that, we're all fucking count. You're out of here, dude.
What was that?
That was a fun night.
Yeah, just going crazy and yelling, screaming.
It was just you and Jimmy in the vocal booth.
I think that's just the two of them. It sounds like 8 voices in there.
This is definitely what happens when we're left to our own devices, that's for sure.
You would think someone had told like a really great joke, but I think you guys just went for it.
Yeah,
Let's get back to that one. Play it again.
Okay, let's listen to it.
Do you think it's over, but it's just begun? Baby, don't cry.
And he was fucking drunk.
I just realized you guys don't get to experience me drunk in the studio now.
Like at this point, when they were doing vocals, he'd come in just fucking hammered like during the evening to lay these things down. And I remember thinking, I don't know if he's going to be able to make it through again or whatever. You know, he was kind of drinking quite a bit. This is towards the end of the record too, and I think everybody was pretty, maybe not jaded, but certainly lethargic, to say the fucking least. We were fucking done.
We go home and have a drink with the Diz, remember?
I probably won't do that.
Are you man or girl? You're all that is man. And have a drink with fucking Rev and the Diz. Oh!
So a lot of drinking, a lot of fucking crazy shit.
It's right there and right in front of your face. Isn't that right?
Exactly.
And he'd come in and just nail shit. That's not fucking auto-tune. You can't fucking auto-tune that. Or tune it or whatever. It's just fucking absolute madness. That fucking dude. Fucking Jimmy Sullivan.
Outside.
Crazy bastard.
Outside.
So yeah, you have... Yeah, so you got Jimmy's fucking... Oh, there's you.
Conjuring a deepest fear. Come here, you fucking bitch!
Fucking Shads. Come here, fucking bitch. Who was that?
It could have been anyone. I remember at any given time we had microphones set up in different rooms.
Right.
With Fred, engineering, and
Right.
Dave Schiffman. And we'd have different microphones in different rooms with different guys doing different shit. You'd have Jimmy cackling and Matt screaming in one room, me doing low vocals.
Yeah, dude, we need to get some bottles breaking and shit.
For breaking bottles, we had like a controlled area for breakage. One time in the main tracking room, they were just throwing beer bottles, fucking hammered, hoping that all the glass would stay in this little area. It was pure chaos. I love that ode they did. I don't know if I'll ever be able to find it here.
Also, you know when it stops, when it does that thing? I kind of wanted to play the fucking, that circus clown famous theme song in the background.
And I remember he was like, I want to do the whole thing, but he didn't want to get sued.
It's just like that classic.
Oh, yeah.
He's throwing in all sorts of fucking crazy shit. It's just so much stuff, as you can see, like, all that stuff is just absolute madness.
Perfect timing. Perfect timing.
All right, so let's go through some of the things that they didn't really touch upon. Like the lack of guitar in the song is kind of crazy. I remember when we were kind of working through some of the arrangements, and we were just trying to find cool areas for Brian and Zach to play.
Yeah, because there really wasn't much as far as the song being written. There really wasn't much for an electric guitar to be there.
Without guitar though, it's just like a just like a soundtrack or something.
It wants that.
The cool thing about it is bringing
element.
it to making it metal.
All right, let's get a different tone on the rainbow.
Right here was a cool one. I remember when we came up with that, it was kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's like a haunted surfer part.
Haunted surfer. Yeah, but it was definitely us branching out into like, different elements and different influences. A little more Pinkley Smooth-esque stuff they would do.
No, like when that part comes back in.
I hear some on the same section as the ding, that chord, like just doing like the fucking some ska shit. Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, just that. Literally, that's it. The whole
that.
That's amazing.
Bam, bam, bam. I'm gonna go smoke a smoky cigarette.
Torch stuff.
It's interesting that we only tracked that on one track there.
That's all the guitars, huh?
Yep.
That's funny.
But it sounds heavy in the track.
Yeah, it does.
Last one's here, Rich was involved in the studio and kind of covered that with the workout and stuff.
Fuck you!
That's a ritual.
Do you want to go through any of the bass stuff? Because I think there's actually a lot of bass in this. Like,
I remember part of the arrangement stuff we were working on was just having the bass literally do those little guitar parts as well. And then it was just dropping out. Anytime the bass would drop out, sonically there was something happening.
like you're just like
You're the guy. I'm just the guy holding it all together. Yeah.
Well, there it is, everybody.
Yeah, that's what's holding it all. It's like a waltz kind of feel right there.
Too much bass, dude.
Yeah, it's ruining everything.
You, me, and Johnny could do some crazy voices.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted everyone to chant it.
Cool. All right, let me hear the first line you did real quick. Hold on.
I love those harmonies too.
Can you solo up just Jimmy's?
Yeah.
They're pretty funly.
Was never this good and bad even when she was sleeping. Now she's just so perfect. I've never been quite so fucking deepin'. Was never this good and bad even when she was sleeping. Now she's just so perfect. I've never been quite so fucking deepin'.
All right. Goes on and on and on.
And then we got Low Boy. Always Low Boy, dude.
Was never this good and bad even when she was sleeping. Now she's just so perfect. I've never been quite so fucking deepin'.
So crazy.
Remember that time that we were low voice? The funniest part is that I actually have such a wiener voice that's kind of high register. Like, I don't know how I was even able to do that.
I love those choirs. It's just a pedal choir. It's all... There's a lot of movement behind it, but he's just got... Jimmy specifically wanted this thing. And I think one of us wanted to add that coming in the middle of it, so it got a little creepy. That little weird note. It's really, really cool pedal tone. Or pedal chord.
This is just madness. It was almost like we're having so much fun in the studio recording the song that next thing you know, you have these low vocals and then you have these scream laughs and screams, and just the fact that it's this many tracks and you can still kind of hear everything that's going on.
No.
We might actually have a career in producing.
Yeah, we need a little help from a great friend that we mentioned many times during the different episodes, Andy Wallace. He's just absolutely brilliant at making these things pop out and come to life. You know, it's just, I can't imagine how the fuck to be sent that. Well, you're pissed off, number one. I guarantee it. He reconciles that with martinis. We've had some with him before. It's a good time. And just say, okay, I'm gonna make every single fucking thing that you want to listen to audible. If you're listening for, you know, tuba, you're gonna get fucking tuba.
We love it.
It's Matt and Brian from the band. Lots of great playing. Thank you so much for putting your heart into it.
Good stuff. All the best. I can't wait to hear the put all together.
I just love his beats. He's always doing the. He's always got that backbeat thing happening, or the ands, or whatever the fuck you call it.
Yeah, it's like it's straight up like Motown or something.
Yeah, exactly. Clyde Stubblefield, do a little James Brown. And then blend it with a big 1-2.
To a stomping to a punk beat.
Yeah.
Crazy. The double
Yeah.
bass. This is every style of music put into one kind of making it work. Definitely something out of for.
Yeah, if you like it, it's genius. Yeah, but all that stuff is just so well orchestrated right through there. Bum, ba-dum. Yeah, I just got doom blam bum bum bum. It's so carnival, you know? It's not overplaying, it's just like perfect, and it's orchestrating it from a kit, you know? From the vision of like an ensemble, you know? It's just crazy.
Everybody's got a but baby, don't cry. Jimmy, weren't there some things you wanted me to do plural?
I wanted to say you had our heart.
You had my heart. They're talking to each other.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the bridge? Let's go to the bridge.
I think for a long time the bridge was written, but there was no vocals in it really. Like we didn't know what was going on. And
Want me to record one real quick and you can listen to it a few times?
Okay, cool.
You have one here. Is this the right one?
Yeah, turn up one of the tracks.
Yeah.
I guess in his head he knew there was going to be a wedding and
Yeah.
you know, kind of a come to peace with each other with the female and the male characters in the story. Obviously a lot was going on in his head because he hadn't really shown us the lyrics at one point and he was just still writing them, but he had this idea and he didn't really share it with us. So this huge middle section, no one really knew what was going on until we kind of got in there.
Yeah.
And then, you know, he said we needed to get a female vocalist and
It's definitely keeping us in the dark a little bit. Just had to kind of trust
I just don't think he knew exactly. I think it was just kind of going for it. So here's her vocal, kind of soloed up here so we can hear what's going on. I think it was an interesting arrangement between her and me, like what Jimmy had come up with was really cool.
And the back and forth.
Yeah, the back and forth.
And it's perfect storytelling of it, going back and forth, like even lyrically. It's just like that.
If it's not enough, try again, and again, over and over again.
It was like, oh, there's one more thing. You have to talk really sexy and.
It's not sexy. You're supposed to be dead.
We're being sexy.
I think this song is completely based around the arrangement, like the ebbs and flows, like the chorus kind of being broken down and not being full of all the orchestrations, just like long notes, make everything seem kind of peaceful, and it's pretty interesting.
It's right back. It's awesome.
Let's go to like the solo part. It sounds like old Disney.
It totally does. A very haunted mansion feel. Fantasia or some shit.
I think it's cool for people to be able to hear this soloed up. This part's very cool here.
Maybe we should let it build like the strings do. Like not start right off the bat with the guitar. So maybe go down. After the second time, you know, because they did a really good job with the strings building that part.
Since we were producing for the first time, it was the first time we were able to go in there and talk to the people who were actually playing these instruments and kind of direct them a little bit. And it wasn't as scary of a process as we probably thought it was. Like, you know, as our career has gone on, we do more and more of that and we're more particular. And I think this was one of those first instances where we had a group of people that were willing to listen and ultimately it's our vision, you know, so we have to go in there and really get what we want out of people. And I think for other people that are aspiring to do different things, no matter if it's strings or whatever it is, and you have people play on your record, you just got to get it right.
Don't be afraid to assert yourself into your vision.
And that's something we learned on this one. You know, sometimes it's like hard. It's like pulling teeth, getting exactly what you want.
Yeah.
It might be the wrong microphone, it might be the wrong take, it might be you can't play it right or it doesn't sound right.
And you don't really know until you really step in there and say, well, I wanted to do this and that and the other.
So this was a good learning experience for us.
Do you take this woman in death for the rest of your natural life?
I do.
Do you take this man in death for the rest of your unnatural life?
I do.
I do.
I now pronounce you.
Perfect. That's perfect.
Oh, that's fucking genius.
See, he's a one taker.
Genius.
I'm not gonna be able to do
Double wide.
I'll find you. Fuck, you're at. You're right here. Here comes the old boy. Little re-intro. Very cool.
Man in death for the rest of your unnatural life.
Yes, I do.
Do you take this woman in death
creepy
for the
thing
rest
coming
of your unnatural life?
I do.
I now pronounce you.
Why is it so good?
Who would marry that guy? I always love this, like it's like at the end, like have his voice, my voice, singing the chorus, like to that final third.
When the fire dies, you think it's over, but it's just begun. But baby, don't cry.
That sounds sick, that hit.
Cool.
Fucking freak.
You know what that is? That's straight Beetlejuice. The end.
So when we played this for the label, you know, it was supposed to be on a Halloween EP, and I remember Tom Wally came in, and like Grover and Goldklang and Heather and all the people that worked with us at Warner Brothers. And we played Afterlife, which we thought was like the big single. And I remember Tom Wally turned around and said, "It's cool, sounds sort of Warped Tour." And like, we didn't really know what that meant.
No.
But then we're like, oh great, if that's Warped Tour, then what the fuck is this?
Yeah, you don't even know what's coming for the rest of this record.
So we're like, okay, well we did a Halloween EP and we did this other song, so we think it's cool, but check it out. And
Speaks for itself.
I honestly didn't have much expectation for what other people would think of it because it was just so different, but we played it and they turned around and they're like, you guys would be insane not to put this on the record.
Yeah.
You gotta let the fans hear that.
I know.
How could you not?
I think it's a no-brainer that it goes on the record, personally, just hearing it one time, because your brain's just going in all these different directions. Like when I was listening to the song, I was thinking of like a Fellini film, I was thinking of Sgt. Pepper, I mean, I was thinking of you guys and what you're about.
I love Queen, and it doesn't sound exactly like Queen, but it has the same theatricalness.
It should be on the record. It's like, it almost should be the last track of the record.
Yeah, totally.
And it was like kind of that final push we needed. So props to them for kind of hearing it for the first time and embracing it, because, you know, coming from City of Evil, this is quite a difference. But again, it was like Jimmy and Brian had been doing stuff like this with Pinkly Smooth, and it just seemed like a cool thing to incorporate. I didn't know we'd get like the ultimate Rev song. You know,
Yeah, I
like
don't
the
think
craziest.
no one would have thought, and then it to be such a staple now too in their live sets and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, and I always remember his first time he played it up in Big Bear. It was like literally one finger. Ding, 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 ding. And it was like, okay, just let him do his thing. So it was cool, man. I'm glad it turned into this, which is like 500 tracks of madness. It's like probably be like our Bohemian Rhapsody if there ever could be one.
Yeah, totally.
Like the song that's like kind of stands out as being different and cool at the same time.
Let's make a new star.
So he's got two sets of vocal cords playing two different things at once.
Yeah, crazy. That fucking dude, more talent than a little fucking tip of his little wiener. And then of course the ominous thunder and rain that we're partial to.
We actually stood outside with microphones.
Yeah, exactly.
In the cold November.
Cold.
Yeah, I forgot about all this shit.
I gotta at least comp it and then leave it for the guys to hear.
Yeah.
Alright, let's hear that one again.
Eat it, eat it, eat it, eat the shit out of it.
Too carried away.
And yeah, like I said, this thing evolved into such a crazy masterpiece that I certainly didn't see coming. Besides, you know, I love this beautiful piano playing, but when the vocals and then the lyrics came about, I mean, the fucking lyrics are fucking brilliant in and of itself. And then Mark Mann and especially Steve Bartek on this song really brought this thing to life. It was just quite apparent that we needed some fucking a little piece of heaven in our lives.
And it just kept evolving and kept evolving, and we were having so much fun with it. It just turned out to be beyond anybody's wildest expectations. It just turned out perfect, more than perfect. And it's just everything that we've ever wanted to do with the song. We wouldn't want to write any other type of song anymore, you know. It was so fulfilling to create something like that, and so fun.
What's really going on with that thing?
Horrible. He's leaving the room. Alright, so what's next?
Fault. It's our fault.
Alright, what's the
Film the shit out of it.
Let's get one more good one, dude.